Hey there, I'm Cherry Holmes with IRATA.ONLINE, and here is another work in progress status report. This one for the Atari ST version of PLATOTerm. Remind everyone, PLATOTerm is the terminal emulation software used to access Plato sites on the internet, IRATA.ONLINE and cyber1.com. I started the Atari ST port in earnest roughly about 4 days ago, and it had come up very quickly. And I wanted to show, since I just recently got it, functioning and connecting to the service and interacting with it successfully, show what's working so far, and to give you an idea that there's still quite a bit left to be done, but that there is the Atari ST port coming soon to join all of the other ports that are being completed right now, such as the Commodore 64, the Apple II, the Atari 800, the i99 4A, Commodore 128 port, etc. That, go ahead and do my development environment. I'm actually running a copy of Linux here inside a virtual machine, which houses my Atari ST cross-compiling environment. The reason for this is twofold. It comes down to essentially serial emulation. Good about the serial emulation that I'm having to do to make this work is I have two programs sitting on both sides of the connection. On one side I have a copy of TCP share that's acting as the serial modem emulation. I'm using TCP share in several other emulated environments here, and it works fantastic as an internet modem emulator. However, Atari only deals with socket files to communicate back and forth, transmit and receive. So in order to provide that, I'm using software called SOCAT, which is short for socket cat, providing the fake device file that is communicating via the TCP socket that TCP share is exposing here, and providing a socket that Atari can actually. With that, we'll actually go into my Atari environment here. A little bit about my Atari ST environment here. For the purposes of testing, and before I have a chance to really optimize everything, I'm running everything on an emulated Atari TP-030, running at 25 megahertz and approximately 14 megs of RAM. This is, however, a very standard, bog standard GEM application, which when everything is finalized, the target is for this to be able to run in 1 megabyte of RAM. And in fact, it runs just fine like that right now. The thing is, since I'm running NVDI for my display acceleration here, that takes up a nice chunk of memory. So, I've got mine amped up a little bit. I also wanted to be able to quickly and easily take and switch between different video modes and PT much more effectively than. So with that, let's go ahead and come inside here, and we'll kind of just show a little bit of the different modes and things that we have set up here. Now, PLATOTerm can run in a variety of different desktop resolutions. I'm targeting all of the standard display modes, and no matter which one you pick, it will pick and create a display that is optimized for that particular display resolution. For example, the 320 by 200 resolution provided by ST Low Resolution give you a 5 by 6 font, already pre-scaled, and scaling tables that work really well for this particular display resolution. Now you'll notice that since we're running in one of the standard ST modes here, it's actually rendering all of this screen. I didn't see a point in providing window borders for something here where you could only comfortably take and put one window on display. And besides, Plato is a full screen UI. You need to have everything full screen. So this is being done in as cross-platform a way as I possibly can here. So I'm using standard GEM and VDI calls to take and pull all of this off. So this should be extremely compatible. Let's go ahead. We'll take and switch over to reset the machine and reset, and go to medium resolution. Please bear with me here. I may slip around as I'm having to use Atari in windowed mode here with the mouse scaling appropriately, and the mouse doesn't track all the way across all of it. So I have to take and on that. We are 640 by 200 medium resolution mode here. To our Plato folder. And with that, please bear with me. Go ahead and select the MadRes here and launch Plato. And you can see here that since we have 640 pixels across and Plato's native resolution is 512, the display is centered in the X direction. Or the Y direction, because we only have 200 pixels down and the resolution is 512, an 8x6 font is used here to figure out the text, appropriate scaling tables for line. So this is the medium resolution. As you can see, still quite readable, and will work really well for RGB users. So with that, we'll go ahead and reboot. And no, there's no way to exit the program currently, so I'm having to reset the machine. Again, please bear with me. Go ahead and do the ST Mono or ST High Resolution, 640 by 400. You can really tell Atari ST operating system really was optimized to run in resolution. It does this quite well. In this mode here, we're still full screen, but we use an 8x12 font that is very close to the 8x16 font that is natively provided by Plato. In fact, it's only compressed ever so slightly in vertical direction. You can see it looks and works quite well. And actually, for the rest of the demonstration, once I show this last mode here, I'll actually be doing the demonstration in this mode. So let's go ahead and reset the machine here. And I'm going to do a demonstration here using the ET medium resolution mode, which is 640 by 480. For any resolution that can ostensibly hold a full-size window, what will actually wind up happening is the screen will not be taken over, and a window will be displayed instead. See this in the full res build. Oops. Apologies. Darn it. Again, please bear with me. Kind of doing this on the fly here. You can see that the main difference here is that the difference between the builds is, of course, the scaling tables and the fonts used. Go ahead, I will go back, reset the preferences here for medium, 640 by 480. Go into Plato, go into full res. And you'll see here that in this case, the PLATOTerm window, because the display is big enough, it actually takes and builds a full window for this. And this will be especially useful for ST users and GEM users that have larger displays that can handle this, especially like ET models, etc. It takes care of all of this. And I'm trying to make this work as best as I can under multitasking boss environments. So you get a windowed mode here. With that, we'll go ahead and bounce into the mono mode for the rest of this demonstration. One last reboot in, hopefully for the rest of this demonstration. And go in PLATO folder one more time, and we will show that this terminal is actually working. Now I left an echo packet inside the splash screen here. The splash screen, like all the other implementations of PLATOTerm, is actually being rendered out using PLATO graphics, so representative of what you'll see on the service itself. We'll go ahead and log into IRATA.ONLINE. And again, pre-alpha software, haven't done any repositioning or anything yet. So you can see, okay, definitely some work still left to be done. But you can see it's running here and doing just fine. Go ahead and log in, username and password. And we can see right here, it's doing just fine. Still some bits and pieces in the rendering code that I have to work out. Now it is worth noting right now that the text routine is not optimized. It's using the same cross-platform routines, plotting one dot at a time to take and render out the appropriate display here. I want to change the text routines to use VRT copy FM, among other things, to try and make this faster. There we go. We can go in and try reading some notes. And yes, of course, if you have access to the mouse works. The mouse will work for the touch display as well. I need to wire that up. That's up next. Let's go ahead. We can go ahead and look at the notes. And we can see here that it looks quite nice. It renders nicely, looks great. I think you guys will enjoy using this very much. The same key combinations that are available in all the other implementations of PLATOTerm also apply here. So Control B is back, Control S is stop, etc. With that, we'll actually take and end this particular demonstration here. And just by going quickly into a game of air fight. Now, I'm not going anywhere else because I still need to actually implement. I'll do another work in progress video in the next day or two, which should hopefully have the character set loading routines popped into memory and optimized for the given screen sizes that we're going to be outputting to. And then I'll be able to show more there. But I wanted to give you guys something already. As you can still see, some glitches in the fonts that I've taken clean up, but nothing too far out of the ordinary. Okay, great. Fine to me. Okay. Missiles, it really matter here because I show the display. And as you can see, the display looks just absolutely fantastic. Looks fantastic, works okay. Now, the once I actually get a hardware flow control is actually in the terminal here. However, my current setup does not allow me to be able to test it yet. I'm actually working towards trying to take and test that so I can crank up the speed appropriately. As you can see, write modes still need to be done, but you know, as you can see, it's working. It's working and working pretty well. So there's definitely more to be done, so much more to be done. But you guys will be able to take and have a working build of this very short. So with that, I want to take and end this particular demonstration. And thank you guys very much for watching. More to come. Definitely more to come. Please stay tuned.